We're back with another episode of the Zoo and Goo podcast. Today we're going to talk NBA Finals. Knicks won 4-1. Game 5 was pretty electric, so was Game 4. Going to run through a lot of stuff about Jalen Brunson, some Giannis Celtics rumors, cover a little bit of Stanley Cup, and then get into some baseball in the World Cup. Anything to add?
No, let's get right into it.
All right, let's do it. All right.
All right. All right. Well, you kind of let it off with the Knicks winning the finals yesterday. Another comeback win, like they've done all postseason. They defeat the Spurs on their home court and win the series 4-1. Very impressive stuff from the Knicks. Congrats to them. It's been a long time coming. I know a lot of people are excited about that. Me personally, not very excited, but respect to them. Great win for them. And yeah, let's get right into both Game 4 and Game 5 because we were not able to cover that
Yeah. Well,
since last podcast.
yeah. I don't think we even talked about. Did we talk about Game 3 last podcast?
No, we did not. We only got games 1 and 2, and then
Yeah.
Game 3 and Game 4. Although, if you were tuned to our socials, you would have seen our reaction to the end of Game
Oh
4.
yeah,
Pretty electric right there.
that was good.
And then Game 5 was last night. So we don't. I think Game 3 was pretty standard. It was like basically win or go home for the Spurs, and they won that one. Although it was a good game, it was a close one. Uh, Main storylines though, Game 4 and last night. So you want to start with Game 4 and the epic Knicks comeback win?
Yeah, I mean, like Game 4 was great. Spurs started off really hot, especially from three. I wrote down on my notes that the Knicks needed to push the Spurs off the 3-point line because the Spurs were just making every single three in the first half.
Yeah,
Devin Vassell was really impressive, and he's been really impressive this entire playoffs. He shot 38% this playoffs on 6 attempts a game. That's really good with that high volume. But I mean, the comeback was insane. The Spurs
yeah,
just kind of set. It's weird. They were making all these threes in the first half, and I was like, y'all need to run them off the line. And then they just stopped making all their threes in the second half, and it actually felt
yeah,
like they were settling for those shots and not really trying to penetrate the defense. And then the Knicks, they just started making a lot of shots, but they also were attacking Wemby on the pick and roll. I've got this stat. So in the first 14 quarters of the series, so the first 2.5 games or 3.5 games, the Knicks had a 70 offensive rating going at Wemby. So that's pretty poor. Going at Wemby in the pick and roll. In the second half of Game 4, when Brunson put Wemby in a pick and roll, they had a 182 offensive rating in the 20 possessions. Insane.
that
Absolutely
is
insane.
insane.
And then obviously some missed free throws and then the OG tip. Also the Fox blunder.
Yeah,
We gotta
Fox
we gotta
layup.
roll through that.
We'll talk
But
about
Game
Fox
4 was
later.
electric.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some videos. Uh, well, I'll get to that in a second. But when you mentioned the Spurs settling, it kind of reminded me of last year. I'm always going to relate something back to the Celtics, but like when the Knicks played the Celtics in the second round, both game 1 and 2, they had a huge lead at home. This one was on the road, but still. And then those same shots that the Spurs were hitting in game 4, the Celtics were hitting in games 1 and 2, were 3-pointers. They were going down. And instead of like changing their offensive approach in the second half when they weren't going down, they just kept trying to force the issue. And the one thing about the Knicks that they do really well is they just don't give up. They never give up,
Yeah.
even when they're down. Like you always feel like they have like they just like crawl their way back into games, and they did it all postseason. And you know they finished like when you say the Knicks went 16-3 this postseason, it doesn't feel like they went 16-3 because they were never like dominating these games all the way through.
Yeah.
But when like the going got tough, they stepped up and I mean they showed they were the best team in the league this year. It was really impressive stuff
Yeah.
from
It was
them.
it was a hard it
Obviously,
was a hard 16-3.
yeah, for sure. Nothing easy. I think the Spurs were probably the best opponent they played this postseason. But maybe it was the Hawks because the Hawks gave them the most trouble in the first round, and then they just kind of found their groove after that.
CJ
Talking
McCollum
about
gave them
OG,
the most
yeah,
trouble.
CJ was the guy. OG probably should have a statue outside of the New York Knicks arena, just with that tip for sure. I mean, that play, Brunson took a horrible shot. Like you're like 8. I don't even know how far behind the line he was. At least 6 feet, with Wemby in your face, shoots it, and then OG Anunoby gets like 2 or 3 fingers on it, and like I don't know, like that's that sort of tip in. Like you never see that happen. Like that was
Yeah.
crazy. And for it to be at home, so electric. I mean, the Knicks fans have been fired up all postseason. Maybe a little bit too fired up, assaulting Spurs
Yeah.
fans on the street. But excited for them. Congrats, New York. I know it's been a while since New York has got anything positive sports wise. So this was really nice to see. And I'm happy for all Knicks fans out there. Winning an NBA championship is not easy. As you can see, like the last 8 champions have all been different. So getting it done this year in a year where they were projected to be the best team in the East, and then they kind of like were in and out throughout the regular season, finished third. They really just found their groove in the postseason, and it was fun to watch. Like even though I'm not the biggest Knicks fan, like I was always entertained watching their games. Like it's always fun watching them and watching Brunson in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, especially game five, like the crowd was electric, and it almost felt like it was kind of 50-50. I mean, obviously there were more Spurs fans there, but the
Yeah,
cheers after Knicks would score were still very loud.
yeah, no, for sure.
And then like obviously like game five was great. Jalen Brunson, man, he had like half their team's points. There's that graphic in the middle of the fourth quarter. He had 45. I think it was like late in the fourth quarter, but he had like 45 points, and they had like 90. They had like 94 or something like that
Yeah, that's what
total.
they finished with,
Just
94 total.
okay. Then that's
Yeah,
the last
yeah,
graphic. That's just crazy. That is
yeah, yeah.
crazy, man. A team that scores
No.
13 points in the first quarter ends up winning the game in an elimination game. Insane.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely insane.
he played so well. He had a plus minus over the last 2 games of 21, which is pretty insane considering they only won those games by like a margin of 5, something like that.
Yeah,
I do want to touch on Cat for all the praise that we gave him, and he still deserves a lot of the praise. Like he played when he was out there, he played really well, but he was in a lot of foul trouble in the last 2 games, and he did not like that was not helpful at all. Like
yeah.
in game 4, the Knicks were on their like third string center.
Hmm.
That was very that put Mike Brown in a really tough situation.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it when we were praising him. Was like, he's playing this great defense, but we are so used to him being in foul trouble and like committing these stupid fouls and like over committing. And then as soon as we talked about that, he just reverted back to like Minnesota Cat, where he was just always in foul trouble and wasn't doing his best to help the team. But like, I think he did his role. He was fine. And the 2 players for the Knicks that just carried them all the way to the finish line were OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson. I thought Mikal Bridges was pretty good as well, but it's really hard to top those two from the
Yeah, of
team
course.
perspective. Because like even in that crazy comeback win, like OG and Jalen Brunson had like 60% of the team's points. So like they put the team on their back and they got it done. Really impressive stuff. We should talk about the Spurs a little bit. Young team, weren't able to get the job done. They were able to get to the finals and defeat the Thunder, which I think most people were happy about. Um, Harper became the youngest player in NBA Finals history to score double digits, so congrats to him. He was unbelievable, and he's only going to get better. So, especially off the bench, he was arguably their best player last night, although he did miss a couple free throws and a couple easy ones at the end of the game. Like overall, I thought
Yeah.
he played really good. Uh, Castle was not good last night, though.
Yeah, Castle didn't play great last night. I will say, like, offensively, Castle, there's a lot more to be worked on. There's a lot to
Yeah,
be desired offensively, but he's going to be a guy who's going to be an all defensive player in the future. He's a really
yeah,
good
for sure.
defender, and I mean, he played. I mean, Brunson had 45 points, but he still played good defense. And he was hounding Brunson this entire series, and you could kind of tell in the first few games that Brunson was a little bothered by it because he had. I mean, Brunson had some poor shooting nights in the first few games of the series. He was just he's a volume shooter, so he's going to get his points.
Yeah,
Fox Fox did not play great. Um, he just it's weird. Like he was missing shots that he normally makes, and maybe
yeah,
I don't know if the moment got to him or what it was, but he just did not play well this series. And the Spurs have three young guards, and Fox is that fourth guy who his contract's kicking in next year. I think it's like $50 million, and I feel like you can allocate those funds elsewhere. So I would look to move Fox, especially with Dylan Harper is so good. Like he has got to be in the
yeah.
starting lineup, and I feel like Fox is the odd man out.
Yeah, I wrote buy Fox. I don't know what your trade value is, but you're off the team. Is his game his game 5 stats from last night? 7 points, 3 for 15 from the field, 1 for 8 from three. He had a really rough first game. Um, I think games 2 and 3 he was pretty good though. He hit that big shot in game 3 to give them the win. And then after that, he just like returned to like I don't know, man. Like Fox was so good in Sacramento, like when they were on that little bit of a rise, like when they played the Warriors and they had a good series there. Like he was so good on that team, and when they made the trade for Fox last year, in my mind, it worked out perfectly because that's exactly what the Spurs needed at the time was like a veteran guard to help guide Castle and Wemby. But like now with Harper and just how good he was throughout the postseason, like he honestly looked like the most poised guy on the Spurs team while also being the youngest guy. So like I don't know what his trade value is, but I feel like if you can move Fox, do it as fast as possible because this young core is going to be pretty dangerous for the next X amount of years, as long as they have him. So
I mean, Fox, former All NBA third team, two-time All Star. He was All Star
yeah,
this past season. I think there is trade value. I think there are teams that could use a veteran point guard. It's just really hard to justify paying, as the Spurs justify paying Fox $50 million when you have a, I don't know, $5 million option in Dylan Harper or however much he
yeah,
costs. Um, yeah, Dylan. I think Dylan Harper will be the point guard of the future there. Uh,
yeah, for sure. Um,
but yeah,
yeah,
Brunson.
I
And we
mean,
could talk about Brunson
yeah, yeah,
overall
that's what I was
in
gonna
the
say.
league.
Yeah. So with this win, I personally have Brunson as the seventh best player in the NBA. I have SGA, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, Tatum, and Wemby over him. Odd man out or men out is Ant, Cade, and Curry for now. I just think that like even though he lacks that like defensive value, like he's not as valuable on the defensive side of the ball. His offensive game is so good, and it doesn't like honestly watching it. Sometimes it doesn't even make any sense. Like he's such a like size wise, like he's so much smaller than pretty much any defender he faces. And when he because he's so elite at attacking the basket, like he'll make difficult layups look easy. And there was like 2 or 3 times in this series where he'll just feel a bump like at like the elbow, and it'll hit like a crazy and one fadeaway mid range, and it's like I think also with that ranking, you have to factor in his clutch factor. Like I think he's probably the best fourth quarter player in the NBA we have right now. He always steps up to the moment, and it's hard to find a time where he doesn't deliver. So I feel like as of right now, postseason, I have him as seventh best player in the NBA. What about you?
Yeah. I have him at 8. I like. the only difference that we've got is Ant. I like
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards a little bit better just because, well, he's younger for starters, but also
yeah,
he has improved his three ball to an insane amount. He shoots like pretty much 40% from three on like 8 to 10 attempts a game. Like that is insane volume. That's like Stephen Curry level 3 point shooters out of a guy who can
yeah,
also slash like the great slashers like Jordan Drexler, all those guys.
yeah.
Like Anthony Edwards is very good. I think he's going to take a leap, potentially be an MVP candidate in the next couple of years. But Brunson is so good. Brunson is so good. The other people I have outside there, like you said, Curry, Cade Cunningham, KD. Where does Donovan Mitchell rank? I don't know, but
I
what
don't
I
know.
do know is that Brunson is probably better than those four right there. You could
Yeah,
make an argument for Kawhi just because of what great of a season Kawhi had last year, but honestly, Kawhi kind of falls down on my list with all these little scandals that he's got going on. So I'm
little.
not I'm
There's
not the
nothing
big
little
I'm not the
about the
biggest
money he's
Kawhi guy
getting.
right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard to be a Kawhi guy. The last thing about this series, and then I want to compare the Knicks run to the Celtics run in 23-24 because they both went 16-3. But I saw people were upset about Spurs players not shaking the hands of the Knicks players after they won the game yesterday. Me personally, I like it. I mean, like, like it's hard because like you want to be like, like good game, like good job. At the same time, like the last thing that the Knicks want to do is like go up to you and like say like, like good job. Like they're out there celebrating, and I'm mad. Like I don't want to go like give this team like props for beating me, especially on my home court. Like I just want to go back to the locker room and get all depressed. So I mean, me personally, I don't have any problem with it. Like, I understand, like, usually after a series, the teams go and shake hands. I know they don't, like, in between games. Like, they just go straight to the locker room. But I didn't have a problem with that at all. What about you?
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that exactly, but I feel like usually the star players will kind of make their way around. Um, I don't necessarily think all the bench guys in the past
Yeah.
have have kind of made their way around and been like good game, but it's kind of weird, like especially in the way that the Knicks won that game, coming down to the wire like that.
Mm.
I think I can understand going straight to the locker room more in that sense than like if it was like a blowout. Like last year, for example, Game Seven Thunder Pacers, that was a blowout. So
Yeah.
you probably do shake hands after that because it's not like you're immediately going to celebrate. I mean, you are going to celebrate, but it's not like as big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like that emotional victory, you're going to celebrate that immediately on the floor. I did see Brunson make his way over to the Spurs bench at the end, so I'm assuming Brunson went over there and dapped everyone up. But
Yeah, but like
I
Wemby and
don't. I,
Castle and all of them left the floor like immediately as soon as it ended.
yeah.
Like he Brunson
So
went to the coaches and stuff.
maybe I don't agree with that. I think like the stars should probably interact, but all of that is kind of ticky tacky. Like it's not the end of the
Yeah.
world. Um, we're not over here. Not everyone has to be best friends, so it's not the end of the
Yeah, I
world
know.
for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what we got from this finals, although it was 4-1, we'll have a great next two Knicks Spurs games next year, maybe three
Oh
because they did face off in the NBA Cup this year. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah.
All right, now let's compare the Knicks run to Celtics run. So the Celtics went 16-3 in 23-24. They played the 8 seed Heat and beat them 4-1. The 4 seed Cavs beat them 4-1. Swept the Pacers, who were a 6 seed. But I will say that was probably like the closest sweep I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like those games were all intense. Like even like game one, it took a Jalen Brown miracle fadeaway corner three to force that game to overtime. So and then they beat the Mavs, a 5 seed, in five, 4-1. They average about 111 points per game. 100. The opponents average about 101 points per game. They shot 47% from the field and 36% from three as a team. top players in that run were JT, who averaged 25, 9.7, and 6.3, and Jaylen Brown, who averaged 23.9, 5.9 rebounds per game, and 3.3 assists per game. And he won both Eastern Conference Finals and Finals MVP. This year with the Knicks, they went 16-3 as well. They started down 1-2 to the six-seeded Hawks, and then finished the postseason 15-1. But they beat the six-seed Hawks 4-2 in the first round, swept the seven-seed Sixers and the four-seed Cavs, and then as we saw last night, gentlemen swept the two-seed Spurs 4-1. They averaged about 115 points per game. Opponents averaged about 105 points per game against them, and they shot about 48% from the field as a team. Obviously, the two players that were their best players that we touched on earlier were Brunson, who averaged 28.4 points per game, 6.1 assists per game, and 3.2 rebounds per game, won Eastern Conference Finals and Finals MVP. And then OG Anunoby, who averaged about 20 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and 1.5 steals per game. So if you look at it on paper, they look like a pretty similar run. But when you actually watch the games, it's just like two completely different runs. Like they don't even compare to each other. Like the way that the Knicks won all their games this postseason, especially starting with that game one win against the Cavs, and then the entire Spurs series, they were just the comeback kids versus Celtics, who basically steamrolled most of their opponents throughout the entire postseason. Both very impressive runs, and I wrote down earlier probably the weirdest but the most impressive 16-3 postseason run of all time. And if you even want to shrink it down more, probably the most impressive 15-1 postseason close, because that's what they finished after going down 1-2 to the Hawks.
Yeah. I mean, the Celtics, when they were winning their games, it just felt like pure dominance, especially in the finals.
Yeah.
The Mavs were outclassed in that finals. It really felt like the Celtics roster was so good and so complete, whereas there's still holes in the Knicks roster. But I mean, the Knicks just found a way to win at when it mattered most, like you said. I think the best comparison is the finals, though. That series, both finals series, Celtics dominated, and then the Spurs, on paper. I mean, sorry, the Knicks. Obviously, they both had a gentleman's sweep, but, the Knicks have 3 of the top 5 comebacks in NBA Finals history now in one series. And that's a perfect representation of this entire playoff run for the Knicks. Never quit, always stay fighting. I mean, great stuff, but definitely I would say the Celtics team is a better team and probably a better run. But still,
I think a more entertaining run was the Knicks. Yeah. I think from a viewer perspective, Knicks run takes it in 4. But team perspective, I think the Celtics definitely win that. Actually, one more thing about this Spurs versus Knicks series, and we'll move on to some offseason rumors. But people are comparing the Knicks' 29-point comeback to the Falcons' 25-point choke. Which do you think is worse, when the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead, or the Knicks or the Spurs blowing a 29-point lead in the finals?
Oh, that's difficult because, dude, the Falcons blew that to the GOAT.
Yeah,
it's not like the Knicks have one of the greatest players of all time on their team, but also I feel like in a football game it's a little bit easier to run out the clock than in a basketball game, because in basketball you still have to shoot. You still have to shoot the ball every 24 seconds, right? But in football I feel like you can really take your time running down the clock. And also the Falcons had a lot of unforced errors. They had the it was a pick six, right? Or was it a fumble?
No, it was a fumble.
A little fumble.
Strip sacked Matt Ryan.
Yeah, and that game was so impressive. I think the Falcons game was. It's also the Super Bowl, so it's one game, so it makes it a little bit more intense. So I would say if we wanted to do, the in 5 or in 6 situation, I would go the Falcons choke in 6 over the Spurs choke, but both really bad losses. Like,
Yeah. The one thing about the Spurs choke though is that the Knicks were at home, so they did have that like home court
yeah.
advantage. Like their fans were there and they were able to like rile them up. That's the one thing about the Super Bowl is that like it's normally at a neutral field, although this year is in SoFi, so the Rams could be playing at home again like they were a couple of years ago. But like uh yeah, I think that also
Well,
adds a little bit as well.
interesting note on that. I want to look up where that Super Bowl was because if I remember correctly, was that Super Bowl not in the Atlanta Stadium?
Was it? It might have been because it might have been the first year of their new stadium. So
Let me see.
Mercedes Benz, is that what it is?
I think so. Oh no, I'm mistaken. It was in Houston. It looks like
Ah, okay,
it was in Houston.
okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's two great comebacks. You know, two unbelievable comebacks. So, congrats to both
Yeah.
those teams. All right, now we are now officially in the NBA offseason. Uh, Coastal was not as tapped into this as I am, as I am a Celtics fan, but there's been a lot of rumors about Giannis potentially being on the Celtics next year. I honestly, me personally, I don't want to believe that they're real, but they keep talking about it. Bill Simmons, who actually accurately predicted when Jason Tatum was going to come back. I don't know if you like him or not, but he believes, well, he first said that the Celtics made an offer for Giannis last week, an official offer, and that he believes that Giannis will be a Celtic by the end of next week. Whether I believe him or not, I don't know. But trading for Giannis would mean the end of Jaylen Brown in Boston. And me personally, I don't want to see that. I love Jaylen Brown. He's coming off his best year ever as a Celtic, and I don't even really think it's close. So, like, I guess if you're the Celtics GM, Brad Stevens, you're like thinking you're trading Jaylen Brown at peak value, but like from a fan perspective, I'd rather try to run it back with this team, maybe try to get bigger using the TPE that they have over the offseason. But I don't know. Also, Giannis is he's a proud Kalshi partner, so I don't know if I like that either. So I'd rather keep Jaylen Brown in Austin. Not in Austin, in Boston. What do you think about the potential of Giannis being a Celtic next season?
I don't think. Okay, well, first off, Bill Simmons, while he is a reporter, right? So he does have some Celtics insider information sometimes. I don't always take everything that he says to be 100%
Yeah,
facts.
no.
I do like his podcast, though. I will listen to his podcast every once in a while. But I don't think the Bucks want to trade Giannis. If I was the Bucks, I would do everything I can to not trade Giannis. I think you have other pieces on the team that you can move around. Even like I know that Kuzma does not have high value, but I'm sure someone will take Kuzma for like a second round pick. And I know Giannis does not want to be on a team that's going to lose, but I think if you can convince him one more year of losing and we can turn it around, I think that you may have something there. Um, so far as Boston, like Giannis is the better player, obviously, but Jaylen Brown has done so much for your team that I don't know if I want to trade Jaylen Brown. Like I don't know if I want to break up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. These guys have been together ever since they came into the league. Well, obviously Jaylen Brown came in 1 year earlier, but ever since they came into the league, pretty much they've been together. They've grown up together. I really think I would love to keep them together until the end of their careers and just have that be a Boston duo. Uh, but also, Giannis is like a top 5 player in the league. A lot of people say he's kind of fallen off since his championship, but I would say that's not entirely true. That's not telling the full facts. He has 4 top 5 MVP finishes, 4 All NBA first teams. He's averaged 30 and 10 pretty much every season. And, for our advanced stats people, 9.6 box plus minus on average every year, which is usually puts you around the top 5. But it has
That's pretty good.
been a lot of untimely playoff injuries. He had his injuries last season, so I can understand being hesitant. He's also going into his age 32 season. Before the podcast, we were thinking about who does Giannis compare to. We could really only think of like Shaq. So I put up Shaq's age 32 to 35 stint in Miami. They won a finals, two All NBA, one top three finish for MVP, averaged 20 and 10. But he did have injury problems, and I wonder if are we seeing those injury problems peak in for Giannis too at this time. But I don't know. I don't think I would want to make the trade if I was Boston, to be honest, because I just don't want to break up JB and Jason Tatum.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't know. It's so interesting because, like, if you like pairing Tatum and Giannis just makes this Celtics team so big, and it makes them kind of like a matchup nightmare for like other teams. Obviously, like I think you if you have Tatum and Giannis on the same team and they're both healthy, you have at least you have two of the top seven players in the NBA. So theoretically, on paper, you should be like a finals team every season. But yeah, the injury stuff is definitely a problem. Um, and that's probably like the number one reason why I'm most hesitant on this move. Just because like he has been injured in the postseason the last 2 or 3 years, and then this year he was in and out of the lineup, and then pretty much just out of the lineup for the second half of the season. Uh, and plus, like I like Jalen Brown. I think like this team, JT and JB just won the title 2 years ago. Like I don't like people seem to forget. Like they already like reached the summit. They got to the top, and they've reached five Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, by themselves. They've been in the playoffs every year as a duo. So like breaking that up for an older player that you'll then have to extend, probably pay him a lot of money. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
extend either JB or Giannis anyway. But like just like breaking that up, I see the reason to do it. Like Brad Stevens talked about in his end of season presser, like wanting to get more paint touches, like wanting to be more active in the paint, but also Jalen Brown was one of the best paint attackers all season last year. Like he was getting in the paint and he was getting buckets and he was shooting mid range shots. Like he was doing what he needed to do for the Celtics to win, ultimately helping them get to that 2 seed. I don't know. I don't know. I'm nervous because they keep talking about it. It kind of popped up about a month ago and then it faded away and then it's really started to ramp up in the last week and a half. And I don't know. I don't know. Like it's so like it's a very conflicting feeling for me because I know Giannis is the better player. Like I know if we make the trade, it'll probably make the team better. But like me personally, I don't want it. I'd rather have Jalen Brown in Boston.
Yeah, I will say though, so far as fit goes, I feel like Jason Tatum is the type of player I would probably want to have around Giannis, like a guy that can really
Yeah,
score on his own. And Tatum is also a pretty good passer. He's gotten
yeah,
a lot better as his career gone on. So has Giannis from that standpoint. But I think the Celtics, if they were to make that trade, it would really fill a hole in the big man slot.
yeah.
Um, because like that was part of the problem this year is that they didn't really have a good center. Uh, I would still. I don't know. I don't know if the Bucks do that. Is kind of the thing. Like, is J? I think Jalen Brown needs more than what the Bucks would have to be a good team. Like you almost want to trade Jalen Brown after you get him. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like a
Yeah,
three-team trade where JB goes somewhere like Houston or something like that,
yeah.
and just a boatload of picks come back to the Bucks. But it's really difficult to make these trades. We'll see what happens. It'll be an exciting offseason. Wherever Giannis goes, or if he stays home, they're gonna get a top five player in the league. So I,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous. You know, we'll see. Uh,
I mean,
we'll
I'd
see.
just be
We'll see what
scared to
happens.
break up Jason Tatum and
Yeah.
Jalen Brown.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely scared. Like
They've
I
gone to
didn't
two
think it was like a
finals together.
possibility. Yep, two finals, five Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, obviously they work well together. Like it's been working. They're always in the playoffs. They're normally a top three seed, and like breaking that up, I don't know. I don't
Is
know.
there
Plus,
any
I have.
avenue to make that trade without Jalen Brown in it?
Yeah, but like, why would you do that if you're the Bucks?
I mean, I have no idea. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Brad
I'm sure.
Stevens
I'm
is
sure
kind of a
there's.
wizard.
Yeah, I'm sure
Brad
there's a
Stevens is kind of
way,
a
but
wizard with these things, though.
yeah, I'm sure there's a way. But like, I don't know. What do you want? Sam Hauser, Derek White, and like 30 first round picks? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm nervous but excited, and we'll see what happens. The only other playoff that's going on right now is Stanley Cup. We have Game 6 tonight. Haven't really been tuned in as much because we were focused on the Knicks series. It was pretty cinema. But the Canes are up 3-2, looking for their first Stanley Cup win in 20 years. The series has been good so far. Any thoughts on the game tonight?
Uh, I mean, so far as a prediction goes, Canes have won the last two games, so maybe they can close it out with three straight victories. I don't really like Vegas. They kind of screwed us with our tickets that one time. Caps beat them in the Stanley Cup final. I don't like Vegas. I also don't like the Canes at all, so it's kind of a lose-lose situation. But it would be kind of. I always like it when these teams like break a drought. So it could be
Yeah.
cool for the Canes to win, and they have a really good fan base. Like I definitely respect their fan base. They're always really loud. Series has been great. I think they've all been like 1 or 2 goal games. So maybe we can have some overtime. I always
Ooh.
love in hockey when they end the cup with an overtime goal. Like that is the coolest thing
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, that would be electric
So
for sure.
I think I'm not really rooting for one team, but I'll root for an overtime goal. How about that?
Yeah, and then we can actually go back to our comparison of a walk-off homer versus an OT goal, and we'll see if it changes
Yeah,
the ranking.
I don't know. Has a walk-off home run to win? I mean, it definitely has happened, but it hasn't happened in a while. A walk-off home run to win the World Series.
Wow, that's like
It's happened,
movie
but
stuff.
it's been a while. So like, we would have to compare the clips and just see which one we vibe with more.
Yeah,
That could
yeah,
be
for sure.
interesting.
Well, cat sighting. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do like rapid fire. Uh, MLB, NFL, and then obviously the World Cup started this week. We'll start with baseball though. Again, wasn't really as tuned in, was mainly focused on the NBA Finals, but
Yeah,
did get to see a great Giants comeback win against your Washington
terrible,
Nationals. They were down
terrible.
9-1, I believe, in the bottom of the eighth, and they walked it off, won 11-10 in the bottom of the ninth. So that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I was
Also, I
listening to
believe that
that.
home run was what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was listening to that on the radio, man. The Nats
Mm,
radio broadcast was not happy at all. Although I will say they stay impartial during the call. So like
hmm
he's God, I can't remember his name, but he was very like obviously like he had emotion during the call. So like he was like, "Oh, and there's a deep drive." And then afterwards he was so pissed off that the Nats lost that game. It was just really funny. That was a bad game. That was a
Yeah.
bad game.
Okay, here's a question. Would you rather your like home team announcers be impartial, or would you rather them be like homers? Like when your team loses, like blows an 8-run lead and then gets walked off. Do you want them to be excited to call that walk off homer, or be like, and they just hit the ball out and the game's over, or something like that?
I
Because I
think,
know there's other teams that have announcers
yeah.
who are homers, and like they don't like when their team gets walked off, they're like, oh man, fuck, and then they just like stop talking.
I think for I don't know why I have this opinion, but I think for the radio it would be cooler. I like it more when they're more of a homer. Where like the Minnesota Vikings
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
radio
yeah,
guy?
yeah.
That guy's
Yeah.
hilarious. So I would rather that, and then on the like TV broadcast, we can be a little bit more professional because it's TV, so we can,
Hmm.
maybe call it a little bit more even. Uh, but I don't know what I do like more overall because it is so funny either way. Like both ways, it is pretty funny. But
Yeah.
gosh, it would be funny to like Game Seven of the World Series. You get walked off, and you're just like, God fucking damn it! He's just like screaming in the mic.
Yeah. No, that would be good. That'd make for good clips. No, the Vikings guy is hilarious. I forget what game it was. I think it was the Vikings Colts where he was like, this punter, he's the worst punter in the league. Oh, he punts another horrible punt. Or it was like he was like, and Gilmore again, just again, this guy, like he kept hitting like the players
Yeah,
later, and I don't know, it was pretty good. It's good stuff.
it's funny.
And you had some notes on the Nationals here. Let's get back to
Yeah,
baseball,
I
whose
mean,
offense has been unbelievable this year.
every week we're going to talk about the Nats. This week was a good week, even though we lost in a horrific fashion to the Giants. Like we said, we won 3 series since we talked last, 2 out of 3 in all of them. We're in the wild card hunt right now. James Wood, is he an MVP candidate? I hope so. 20 bombs. He hit one today. He's hitting like 274, 950 OPS. I think the real issue with this team is that we cannot win at home. You pointed out before the pod, we were 14 and 21 at home and 23 and 14 on the road. Like if we are average at home, we might be leading the division. So
Yeah, you would be.
let's.
You have the Braves.
I don't know. The Braves are really good. The Braves have like
Yeah, the
44
Braves are good.
wins right now.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
good.
can we like? Can we play better at home, please? Just please.
It's probably because you're surveilling all your fans that want to go to the games.
Maybe.
Um,
Actually, dude, I've been to 3 games this year. I don't think we've won a single one. I'm trying to think. No, I've been to 4. I don't think we've seen a Nats win.
yeah, I've also been to
That's,
4, and I don't think I've seen a Nats win either. Actually, no, no, you guys beat the Twins when I was there.
ah,
Yeah, you're 1 and
okay.
3 when I've gone. No, I've seen 2 wins. Beat the Padres on Saturday when Tatis hit his
Oh,
homer.
I didn't
Look
go
at
to
that.
that.
I've seen like
I didn't
15% of
see
your home
anything.
team's wins. Look at that. Speaking
I
of
feel like.
Tatis,
Oh yeah,
all right,
proceed.
go
Yes,
ahead now.
Tatis has been on a tear.
Yeah, no, you can finish up your Nats thoughts, and we'll go down the
I
list.
was going to say, I feel like in the past I've had a pretty good track record when going to games, but this year has been abysmal. I feel last year, I don't know how many games I went to, but I remember us winning more times than not when I went, which is crazy because we sucked last year. And this year
Yeah.
we're actually half decent, and every single time I go to the game, it's a fucking blowout. Or we just choke in the most rambunctious ways. Like we had bases loaded. Gosh, I can't remember who we were playing. It might have been the Brewers or something like that. We had bases loaded one time when I was at the game a few maybe like 2 months ago, and we nobody out. We tried to bunt, and he bunted out, foul out, and then we just got 2 straight strikeouts in like the bottom of the eighth, and then we didn't do anything in the ninth.
That's
Just
good stuff
ridiculous.
right there. It's good stuff. Maybe you should stop going to games, and they'll make that home
That's not
record
gonna
even better.
happen.
All right. Going back to Tatis, he had his second home run of the year earlier this week, and it was a walk-off homer. And he's been playing pretty well. The long ball hasn't been there all season, but like overall, you have some notes on his offensive stats. He's been really good over the last 25 games.
Yeah, man. 359, 37 hits, 2 bombs, 9 ribbies. He's been really good recently, and I really like. I would like to see him get back to that MVP level because I feel like there's a stupid claim that he is not as good anymore because of his lack of steroids, but I don't think that is entirely true, and I'd love to see Fernando get back to that MVP level.
Yeah, as would I. I think he plays better, the team plays better, and they're barely clinging on to that last playoff spot right now. So they started off hot, and they kind of faltered off a little bit. Now they're like kind of playing around 500, so we'll see what happens there. Athletics also had a shootout game against the Brewers. They won 15-14 in 12 innings, and they've been pretty good this year. And they have a first baseman, I believe, who is leading the league in walks, and has
Yeah.
also been incredible at the plate.
Yeah, Nick Kurtz, man. He's been great. What is this, his third year? Second or third year? This is his third year, right?
I think it's his
Second
second
year?
year.
No, this is his
Yeah,
second year, man. And he's
yeah,
already got a 3.4 WAR. He's one of the best first basemen in the league. I would love to see the Athletics become good because they've had so much turmoil with obviously leaving Oakland. Um,
yeah.
I would love to see them good. I think it would be good for their fans. They're only one game back of the AL West lead in a very bad division. Like it seems like they're going to have to win their division in order to make the playoffs potentially. We'll see what happens. I really like watching Nick Kurtz though. He's a great hitter, one of the great lefties in the league.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then Dodgers, least favorite team ever. But Yamamoto earlier, I think yesterday, was 3 outs away from a no hitter and then gave up a solo shot to the White Sox. So that would have been pretty cool to see out of him. And obviously, yeah, Yankees, Braves, Dodgers,
Yeah,
they're all front runners. They're all really good so far this year. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there. And then Blaze Jordan made his debut for the Cardinals this week with a home run, and he went viral. It must have been around 10 years ago when he was 13 years old for hitting like 500-foot home runs in a pro park. So it's pretty cool to see like
yeah,
one of those kids that was like going viral for doing something cool like when we were younger to now see him like go to the majors and keep doing what he's been doing for 10 years, like
yeah.
especially in his first game as he went yard. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's really cool to
I got
see
nothing else
someone
for
like
baseball.
you see those YouTube videos or whatever, and
Yeah,
then 8 years later, 10 years later, whatever, he's in the majors. Like, what the hell? like,
yeah, I
like,
know.
it's cool
It's
when
pretty
those kids
crazy.
work out, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I feel like usually when you have like a child prodigy or someone like they get a lot of attention when they're younger, they don't normally work out. So it's cool to like see them like get to the majors, and maybe he'll just crush for his entire Cardinals career. But nothing really happened in the NFL though. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, Gonzalez still hasn't signed an extension with the Patriots. They're looking to have that done before week 1. Hopefully, because we need him. He's arguably, I think he's a top 3 corner in the league. Probably, if he has another good year this year, maybe the best corner in the league. We'll see. Uh, but you never know. And then Virginia Tech legend Bayshaw Tootin has looked really good in training camp with the Jaguars. And could the Jags be a threat again this year? I think they lost to the Bills in the first round of the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
But that was a really good game. And I think the AFC is stacked. Like I think we're gonna have a really good AFC playoffs for sure in the NFL. But it's gonna be interesting to see where the teams end up at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm personally, I was trying to trade for Tootin in Dynasty, but that didn't work out. Uh, but yeah, the Jags can be good. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, it's so weird because like before last season, we were like, I don't know if we believe in Trevor Lawrence. And then last year, he actually played pretty well. And
Yeah,
now people are back on the Trevor Lawrence hype train. I mean, we'll probably never forget that big comeback in the playoffs against the Chargers a few years ago. So maybe
yeah.
the Jags are turning it around. I mean, last year was their first season with their new head coach, right? So we'll
hmm
see. We'll see what happens with the Jaguars. They're definitely an intriguing team for sure.
Yeah, and they played really well with Brian Thomas Jr., who you are well aware just not being good at all last year. So if he can like
Yeah.
return back to his rookie year form, they could be a dangerous team. I think they have a really good weapon in Parker Washington, and if Tuden can step up, I don't know, man. They could be good. They could be good. Their division, I think they're probably the favorites to win their division right now, right? Because
Their
they have the
division's a weird
Colts,
division.
Titans, and
Texans.
yeah, Texans. So yeah, I'd probably say they're the favorites, but that's an interesting division to watch out for
Yeah.
because we'll see.
I feel
You
like
never know. The Colts were really good last year until they weren't.
yeah. I feel like every year that division is just interesting, you know.
Yeah,
Like Colts, Texans, Titans. I feel like they always kind of pass around the division title.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the NFC East, although the Eagles have won that back-to-back years, so you guys got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Um, okay, and then finally, World Cup,
Let's
USA,
go.
1-0. 1-0. They beat Paraguay 4-1 on Friday night. Not gonna lie, very fun watch. They looked
It
incredible.
was
They looked
electric.
so good. It was really fun watch. My boy Balagoon. Totally knew about him before the World Cup started. But
Yeah, for
seriously though, I
sure.
think he's like 24. He was born in 2001, so 24,
He's definitely on the younger
25.
side.
Yeah, he was really good. I think the entire team was just incredible, especially in that first half. They just completely dominated Paraguay, who put up a pretty good fight against like teams like Brazil and other like top level teams in the friendlies before the World Cup. So they just like when you're the host team, you have to kind of like like put your mark. And I think the U.S. did
Yeah.
that on Friday night, and they have a little bit of hype behind them. Uh, can they go far? Who knows? But I was very excited watching that first game.
Yeah, it was really fun. Watched it at a bar. The whole bar was chanting USA, USA. So it was fun. We've got Australia next Friday. Supposedly they are not as good as the U.S., but maybe a little bit better than Paraguay. I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens. It would be huge to win that game, so then you can kind of maybe coast against Turkey because not coast, but like it doesn't make Turkey a do or die game because Turkey is supposed to be the better team and
Yeah,
probably the best team in this group. So we'll see what happens. Really fun to watch, and I just hope we score a lot of goals. Like I feel like it's
yeah,
so fun to watch soccer when it's like a 4-3 or like a 3-2 or something like that versus a 1-0. Um, and then like especially when you have guys coming off the bench like Gio Reyna with that Travella shot, that was such a cool goal, and
yeah,
it really put the cap on the night.
yeah, for sure. Actually, Australia beat Turkey yesterday 2-0. So
Oh
it'll be an
really?
interesting game on Friday. Yeah, it'll be an interesting
Okay.
game. Both Australia and the U.S. are 1-0 in this group, so it's a big game. If the U.S. wins, I think what do they have to do? Just draw,
I mean, if the
advance the
U.S.
next
wins, they
round or
might not even
something.
have to. They might not even have to win in the next match. Like
Yeah,
I think 2-1 probably gets you second in the group,
yeah. So
unless
we'll
if
see.
like Paraguay loses to everyone. Like if Paraguay loses to
Yeah,
everyone, then you could have, depending on how the cookie crumbles, you could have three 2-1 teams. I think so.
yeah. Overall, good stuff and enjoyable watch. I thought the team looked incredible, and you know what? I will say I was a little bit disappointed in the crowd at Spider Kelly's. I thought there was going to be more people there, rooting for US and watching the game, and there was no line. There was no line to get in. So, I think next week, I think since we won, next Friday probably be a little more packed. More eyes will be on the game because they played so well. So we'll see what
Yeah,
happens. And
yeah, we'll see. I've
yeah,
heard we could. I've heard we could run up Rocket Bar in DC. I've heard that's like a very popular sports bar outside of
mm,
what is it, Capital One. So we could maybe run that up next week, see what the atmosphere is like. But I'm excited. I really
yeah,
like I don't watch soccer that often, and then now I got something to root for. I got some skin in the
yeah,
game. I think it would be really cool if we could
yeah,
win one knockout stage game. If we can make it to the knockout stage and win one game, I think that would be really cool.
yeah. That would be electric. That would be awesome. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Uh, and our last part of the show will be happening in a little bit. We have to wait a couple hours here, but Love Island USA will have two special guests, hopefully. One confirmed, one TBD. So we'll see you guys then. But thanks for tuning in.
All right, we're back. A little hiatus. Just watched the Love Island episode 11, I believe it was. We're joined by two new guests. We have New and Shu.
Shoe so fine.
Uh,
Full name.
all right, well,
please.
so a little recap of the episode. The previous episode, there's a little bit of a recoupling. Beatrice got sent home. Gabriel is now sucking face with Jen. And Melanie is with Corbin GPT. What else happened?
Yep.
Oh yeah, we had some Anaya drama, so a good
Woke
good
up.
amount of stuff to cover. What do you guys think about the Anaya and KC situation?
I could take this one. It needed to happen. This needed to happen. Okay, Anaya and KC, frankly, is like the Chick-fil-A of this entire show. It's boring. It's bland. Nothing's been happening, and it needed to end. So I hope that this leads to new beginnings for them. I hope they're cracking some new people. Anaya was the safe option. I don't care what Casey says. Anaya was the safe option, but we'll take it from there. Thoughts, boys?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's bound to happen. I feel like any couple from day one just falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, she was a safe option, even though Casey's trying to shove it under the rug. And I'm a fan of Casey. I'll say it here first. I'm a fan of Casey, but he was shoving it under the rug a little bit. Will it go for Soul? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, but that's crazy, though. That's crazy, because him shoving it under the rug, like, what? He explored a connection with Soul, who's in the villa. He hasn't talked to anyone this whole show. And Anaya
That is
has
true.
done even
That is
less. Not to mention,
Yeah.
Anaya's tripping. Boys, remember episode 1? Anaya
I was
didn't
gonna
even
say
choose KC. She
Yeah.
didn't even
That's
choose
true,
him,
that's
bro.
true.
That was option 2, and guess who the other motherfucker was? Sincere.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that
Yeah.
motherfucker in a bit.
Oh,
Yeah, that dude sucks. Nah, but Anaya was low-key PMO. This whole she takes every challenge comment to heart almost, and it's kind of annoying to watch. Like, you're right, Casey hasn't talked to anyone, and then he goes and talks to Soul for maybe 10 minutes, and she's like, "Hey guys," and immediately pulls him. And then she's mad about it. Me personally, I don't get that, but I feel like everyone that's in a couple. I guess everyone right now is in a couple, but I feel like they're almost scared to explore other people just because of the repercussions of just getting chewed out. It seems like it's happened a couple of times already.
Well, it seems like I feel like that's because of Melanie's fallout
Yeah.
with Sincere. Everyone's scared of that happening to them. No one wants to do it, you know? I mean, you heard Corbin go to Melanie immediately and be like, just, I shared a kiss. By the way, crazy. Can the man not just say, I kissed the motherfucker? He had to say, yeah, I shared a kiss. That's crazy, bro.
He's just trying
Well,
to be
they
eloquent
didn't
with
just
his words.
they didn't just kiss though. They made out for 45
Yeah.
minutes in the Soul Ties. But I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of a fan of the Anaya and KC relationship, but I think that it's kind of BS to trip about every little thing on Anaya's part. And then KC, he's just a funny guy, honestly. But it was kind of weird because I felt like Anaya and KC's chat after the challenge kind of cleared the air, and then he did kind of pull Soul without. I feel like he should have said, "Okay, also, by the way, I'm going to go pull Soul for a little chat." I don't know, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, you're right. He technically should have said that, and definitely it's a respectful thing to do. But come on, bro. At the end of the day, this is Love Island. Dirty shit's gonna happen sometimes, and that's the least dirty you can really get. I didn't preface that I'm gonna pull someone for a chat. Shit happens, dude. Was it smart? No, but come on, we need some mess in this villa, bro.
Fact, dog. Need some mess. Makes good television.
That's fair. Well, speaking of mess, we could shift focus onto Melanie and Sincere for a moment. Earlier in the episode, so today's episode was the first episode of Sincere and Soul coupled up together. Sincere was talking to Soul, and he was very happy with Soul. And then he was speaking to Trinity, and he basically said that he wanted it to be Melanie and not Soul. Very confused with this guy. What are you guys' thoughts on Sincere?
I just think he's such a flopper. He's such, like pick one and go with it, and it's like dude keeps going back on his word, saying that. Like I saw this clip today of him a few episodes ago talking about, you know, when you go fishing and have a great fish here, but then you go fishing and have another great fish here, and you can just keep both fishes. Like, what are we talking about? Just be true to your word. And I think it is a little ridiculous going back and forth with him. And I was hating on Melanie at first, and still am. Don't get me wrong. But
Okay.
Sincere's gotta pick it up a little bit.
He's got to lock in, that's for sure, Nick. You bring up a good point.
It's not his name.
It's new.
All right, new. Yeah, that's so sick, dude. He's got to lock the fuck in. Because here's the thing. I've been with a scary bitch before. And you say some things because they're intimidating. And you don't know what to say in that moment. Because, you know, they can be overbearing. But at the end of the day, you're just as bad as them if you're not going to tell them what's going on. You're tripping. He's kind of giving fucking pussy vibes. And he's probably got to go. But at the same time, if we lose him, if we lose Melanie, we're losing half the drama in this season. So I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like we need a runner up in the drama. It's kind of been Melanie leading the thing. When the show first started, you know, it was Kenzie kind of going AWOL a little bit, kind of causing everything, all the rifts. Now that Melanie's taken over, I feel like that may subside a little bit coming up, and so we may need a runner up soon.
Yeah, I low-key feel like Kenzie's doing the same thing that Sincere is doing, but it's just not as magnified because Corbin's not crashing out like Melanie. But like she's also double dipping, and then was mad at Melanie the episode before for asking to pull Corbin for a chat. Like you're not sucking face with the new guy and then going to Corbin and basically getting finger banged in the bed. Like, come on, man. Yeah. What are we doing there? Sincere, I think the flopper is the correct term for him because that's what he does. And he loves his metaphors, but maybe he should find a metaphor where where he can stick with one person. He's always there's every episode I feel like he has at least one metaphor. Maybe he should stop with the metaphors and focus on his connections in the villa.
Well, he could also just
That's
tell
a beautiful
the
thought.
Yeah, also, telling the truth would probably help a little bit there. But,
Constantly says he doesn't want to explore 5 minutes later. With the next
it's I'm not going to kiss all again 5 minutes later.
And then she confronts him as he is understandable to an extent. And she's like, "Did you kiss him?" He's like, "Yeah, once." And then she's like, "Only once?" "Twice." And it's like, dude, just come clean.
Yeah, Melanie must have a Glock or something on her because he's scared. He's scared of her for some reason. But also I feel like in his head he thinks it's gonna work. He thinks he can balance these two relationships, and somehow he's gonna be with both people. And maybe that's just his cheater mind working in his head.
Well, the delusional thing about his cheater mind is it's why are you still pretending, even when you're in a one-on-one with Soul after you've been coupled up to oh, Melanie and I can still work? Bro, this is what you wanted the whole goddamn time. Why are we still crying about that? He is delusional. I don't know. He's what's that shit called? Stockholm Syndrome. For our viewers, that's when you are attracted to your hostage holder of the holding.
Thank you. Good lesson there from Shu.
Really needed it.
Shu's so fine.
No, not Shu's so fine. That's not a real person.
All right.
I don't know.
What
Anything
about
else? I guess Melanie slept outside in this episode.
Right? Yes. All right, we need to get to this because, bro. This motherfucker Melanie did not give a shit about Sincere until Sincere started looking other ways. Okay? She's looking at every other dude who comes in, which is fine. You know, it's the villa. Do that. But if he's going to do the same, then she starts doing all the shit where, now she's going to everyone asking permission, like, hey, can I talk to your man? Or like this with Corbin, where like, I'm going to go sleep outside. It's performative, bro. It's like you're literally doing it because you want to get a step up on Sincere. You want to make it look like, oh, you're sleeping with your new couple immediately. I would never do that. Like, bro, stop playing.
Yeah. And mind it's really only been like 4 days since they were on that triple king size bed and she was freaking out when the bombshells walked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, yeah, she was just sucking Corbin's face with Sincere just standing there. Like, he basically just cucked Sincere for like a minute and a half.
The 220-pound argument versus a man who's like probably 160 and literally has a man bun. Like, what? She knew what she was doing, which is fine. But like, if the man's gonna do the same, you gotta stop tweaking about it. Although he is stupid, but still, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting seeing how this plays out because even she's still talking about how she still wants things there, and I don't know if I believe her, but it's weird. You know, you'd think the situation would be done, but it doesn't seem like it is.
Yeah, I need some new bombshells. I need some drama here. I don't like all 7 people in couples. I need something to happen.
Well, Goo, I think you'd actually be a great person to go on the show as a bombshell.
Oh no, I hate going on the show. Like, there was zero part of me that would ever want to go on the show ever. You know what I did see about Trinity from the show was that she was on like a Tubo or something, like one of those like very minor streaming service. Yeah, Tubi like movie. Yeah, like one of those. Yeah, like I'm talking like this was probably filmed like an iPhone, and she's just like it was like a 2-minute clip of her in one of those movies. That was hilarious, and all the comments like, yeah, she's gonna block me as soon as she gets out of the villa.
No, that's sick though. That's the dream. Honestly, those movies are fun. You seen the one where they bend the bullet around the tree? Oh, okay, you're not an avid watcher. Okay. Why even bring it up? Why have a conversation then? Okay. Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to do a draft of the remaining cast members, or maybe we each choose 1 or 2? I don't know how that would work. What do you think?
We can. There's 14, right?
Or should we just do like a personal ranking of who we like the most, who we like the least?
Because I feel like that could change week to week.
Yeah, we could do power rankings.
Because honestly, like a week ago, like Sincere would have been like, I was like fucking with him, and now he's like bottom of the barrel to me.
Exactly.
You should have known from the man bun, bro. Come on.
All right.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get that hair
12...
myself.
Okay. We have 12 people remaining. So going into this week 3, I think this is week 3.
That was 14. Oh, there was 7 couples. All right.
12.
12?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now. There's 6 couples.
Okay.
Unless if I'm missing anyone.
No, you're right.
Anyway, oh no, this list doesn't. I don't see Soul on this list. Whatever. It doesn't matter how many people there are. Maybe we each rank the top 2 and the bottom 2.
Yeah, I agree with that. We can have a proper list for next time, but yeah, let's just stick to top 2, bottom now.
Yeah.
All right, let's start in my top box here. Shu, can you give us your
You're
top
so fine.
2?
Top 2. A boy and a girl, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Probably Zach. Zach is goated. He's funny. He's got to be the funniest on there. He's British. Love Island does not feel like Love Island if it's not British, and I've never watched a British season in my life. But it's trashy. It's elegant at the same time, and he's got good timing. So him and his bromance with Bryce, that's putting him at 1. And then for the girls, I think Kata probably has my favorite personality, but Kenzie and her, I don't know how to describe it, lack of what's going on, for example, telling Corbin about her roster. I love that. I love that vibe.
So who was your top girl then? Was it Kata or Kenzie?
I'd say for now, Kenzie. She's the best television, I think.
All
Bottom
right, all
two
right.
got to be. I mean, I hate to be basic here, but it's it's got to be Sincere, just because I dislike him heavily. And then I want to put Melanie at the bottom so bad, but she's like a toned down Huda from last season, which I like. I
Oh,
hated
okay.
Huda.
Yeah,
I
call that.
hated
Yeah,
Huda.
I think that was the general. That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
No, it's not at all. She's got the same mannerisms as Huda, but she's like scaled down
You
to like
think?
a 7.
I think Hood is worse.
I
Oh yeah, of
yeah.
course. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Huda was evil, but she's toned
Oh,
down.
okay.
But she is good TV, and we do need like a
That's
villain.
That
So
is-
I'm gonna have to put. I hate to say it because I like her personality, but I'm gonna have to put Anaya because she's not doing anything in the villa.
Wow.
My bombshell actually pointed out to me that she has been pulled for zero chats, and it's heartbreaking. But she needs to go because it's just that's a stagnant piece. That's a pawn on the board. I want a horse or a queen or whatever.
Yeah, I like the analogy. Learning from Sincere. Okay.
All
All
right.
right, new, you go.
I want the horse. Yeah. So my top two dudes, I would probably say Zach and Casey. I think they're just good. They're good. We've got like she was saying, got some funny moments out of Zach. Neither Zach or Casey have done anything atrocious, and they're just seem pretty chill and content in where they are. Bottom two guys, I would say Sincere as well for one of them, just because he's lying straight through his teeth, can't make up his mind, and it's really starting to piss me off. And then Corbin, I just can't stand when that fucker opens his mouth, and he's just always like, "Where my kiss at? Where my kiss?"
That's crazy. I'll throw hands with you for that.
Oh wow, wow.
No, because I get it. He's AI. He's AI as fuck. But
Yeah.
he's so Love Island, bro. And I hate to say it, when he said people describe you as nonchalant, bro, he actually really is, and it pisses me off. But like he is.
Yeah.
He's chalant about being nonchalant.
But did you see him rebooting in the bed? Did you see him sleeping on his back and literally rebooting?
He had to recharge his battery.
Wait, so new, if you had to choose the top, like you gave two for, like I'm saying one guy, one girl. So
Oh,
For
okay,
your
okay,
top.
yeah. And then my top top girl would probably be Kata, I would say. Again, just fairly level headed. Although we got some freaky Kata at the end of this app, probably leading into tomorrow night. With those handcuffs and whips that she was so excited to get into.
what is happening back
Yeah,
there?
Zoo, mute Chew.
I muted him. I muted him. Proceed.
Someone's abusing his dog in the back. And so, yeah, like I said, Kata, again, pretty level-headed. But then bottom girl, I would probably say Melanie. She, again, just pissing me the fuck off. The double standard is crazy. Again, how she can flip her shit about guys that are coming in, and then also pulling them for chats, pulling Corbin for a chat, but then got all upset that when Sincere pulled Soul for a chat. No, yeah, Sincere kind of did go a little crazy and off the deep end, and he's continuing to do so. But I think she needs to cool it quite a bit.
Yeah, all right, respectable. I'm gonna unmute Shu now. Hopefully, it's fine.
Oh, he took out his headphones. Keep.
Yeah. Sorry, boys. The AirPod ones are dying, but that's okay. We'll carry on. Yeah.
Yep.
No, good ranking. Corbin disrespect.
All right, I'm gonna mute him. All right, Goo, it is your turn. Give us your top guy and girl, and then your bottom guy and girl.
Top guy would probably be KC. I think he's just funny. He's just like, I think he has some good energy about him, and he seems to be like a nice dude. So I like him as my top guy for now. And then probably my top girl would be Nemi Escada. She also seems level-headed, and like New said, she got a little bit freaky at the end of this episode, saying that she was going to do some stuff to Zach. And honestly, in his confessional, he looked a little bit scared. So I guess we'll see what happens there. Bottom two. It's still Sincere and Melanie. Although I will say that Jen, like, she doesn't do anything either. But I don't think she's got the screen time yet. You know, like, so like I would put her like close to bottom, but I still have Melanie because she's just annoying, and then Sincere is just a liar. So like, I don't want to watch you lie, like, because his lying actually makes Melanie look less crazy. So like, you know,
Well, yeah.
but
I mean,
definitely Sincere and Mel at the bottom.
That's a
I feel
great
like
point.
Sincere is making
Thank you,
Sincere is
Shu.
making Melanie look crazy right now. A lot of Kata love. A lot of Kata love. Top guy. Oh, I think I'm gonna go with. It's probably close between Casey and Zach. I'm gonna go Zach. I think he's
We
funny.
lost Shu for a second. Sorry, he's back.
I think Zach is funny. So is Casey, but I'm gonna go with Zach here. And then as for the top girl, dude, I don't know. I don't even know if I like any of them. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go with Soul here because I do feel kind of bad for her because I feel like she's being played by Sincere. So I'm actually hoping that we have some sort of bombshell come in and swoop her, or perhaps KC can go and swoop her. We'll see what happens.
I'd like that.
So far as the bottom goes, I know Shu is not gonna like this one, but I hate Bryce. I think Bryce is terrible. I don't think he's funny at all, and I don't like this whole flip-flop situation. Like, he is airballed twice with Kata, and it is so weird to me that he went back for it the second time. I do hate Sincere as well, and Corbin GPT. They're all kind of at my bottom, but I actually hate Bryce.
Wow.
And then bottom girl, damn. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Melanie here. Just I do feel bad for her because I do think that she's been kind of scapegoated here, but I'm still not very much of a fan of her.
So I just see Shu in like the top left corner of my screen, ready to
He's
explode because he's
he's
muted.
mad about this Bryce take. I didn't even mute him. He muted himself.
No, I had to mute myself there. I actually had to. Because that's crazy. All right, I understand the Bryce shit, right? Dumbass. Him going back to the one girl who rejected him in 3 seconds. Probably the cringiest moment of the season when they were in the big-ass bed together. But,
Yeah, and he was the cock.
He was.
he was the cock. He was the cock. But let me keep it real. He and him have always felt like a platonic relationship. It's always been like, oh, they were kind of paired together. I think both of them would even agree with me when I said that. Up until the point, which was the episode where he decided to walk away and look towards Kata, it always felt like a friendship. And it was terrible timing because that episode is when Trinity started saying to everyone, oh, I think I'm really starting to gain feelings for him. I really like him. But he doesn't know that. He thinks still like, oh, this is a safe relationship. Like, I don't know, like, we should probably, like, look other places. And then his dumbass had to pick the worst motherfucker in the whole goddamn place. Or at least for his options. So I get it. But he's the GOAT, and I don't care.
Okay.
He's the GOAT. I don't care. I like him. Right there.
Good. And I like you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Shu.
You're so fine.
You know, I don't have any other thoughts about this episode. I know by the time this is tomorrow, so much stuff will have happened, so we won't be talking about that until next Sunday. But you know, overall solid. I saw some clips of the After Sun. I'll never watch that myself, but it seemed a little bit interesting.
Yeah, Sean and Beatrice went on there. I feel bad for Sean, man. He got like fired or something from being a cop,
I heard about that. Yeah.
even though
Yo, that drama was crazy.
like he
He's
put
no
his
longer
unpaid
Officer
leave
Sexy
in.
Pants.
He put his unpaid
Yeah.
leave in and then got canned.
I'm not sure if you guys saw the drama, but basically, like, obviously the guy, the mayor, was pissed off about it because like we spent all this money training him, and his mom came out in the comments and was defending him, like, bro, he trained in California, he did all his shit there. You're tripping over shit you didn't pay for. Like, the cop was honestly probably just being a little bit of a macho man, sissy pants, doesn't know what Love Island is, doesn't know the aura it brings.
You just can't handle Officer Sexy Pants. I get it.
Mm-mm.
You know, I probably had to let him go because of that. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, solid episode. Thank you, special guest Shu and New, for coming on the podcast today. Hopefully, we'll be able to see you next week. Maybe Shu will have some headphones and a computer. We'll see about that.
Maybe we can work out the kinks.
Yeah, let's get
I hope
kinky
not.
next week.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Zoo and Goo, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, before we go, though, could you remind me of that kiss we had last week?
I kind of forget what it was like.